I think the mindset that you have to start with is you're not trying to invent a better set of metrics. You have to think about insights and think different beyond click counts, share of voice, whatever buzz metrics are today, and move to insights, because insights are what give you access to the CEO, and when you talk to the CEO about insights versus PR metrics, you have a dialogue that gives you permission then to advise on world-class communications.
So I think, one of the great pieces of advice I was given was to remain curious. I think oftentimes when you embrace research, you get really overwhelmed with the amount of data that you may be exposed to. And I think part of the journey is really being curious about what the data is going to tell you, and that's the data discovery process. I think data discovery leads you to uncharted territories, and I think if you have an open mind, the data will speak itself, and you'll create and innovate and really learn from the data that you're looking at, and from there identify a path to which you can use it to bring value.
Be curious. It's really important to be curious. You have to think to yourself, what do people want to know about? And then you follow and ask lots of questions.
I would say be collaborative. I think one of the reasons we're successful is because I work in communications. Jay over here sits in marketing, and while we've been sort of forced to work together, it's been very valuable, and we learn from each other, and we've collaborated with other groups as well, and we've shown true value to the company as a whole, because we've been very open and transparent with data.
Okay.
Be open-minded to, even though PR is quite a creative exercise, especially media relations, one of the differences that you'll find in the corporate world is that you often need to validate or prove your strategy, and metrics are the way that you can either prove your strategy or identify where it's weak and make changes and tweak it. So be open-minded about it. I was skeptical at first, and I'm a complete convert.
I think the one suggestion which Gary would agree is to read as much as they can, especially when you're talking about research. The word research brings in the other word, which is inquisitive. If you're inquisitive and you read and you want to know about things, you can actually do because research is all about finding the right answers to the questions that you have, and it all begins with knowing and reading as much as you can.
Exactly that. I think if you're going to go into research and PR, you first got to understand what's driving PR as a profession, right? And so you want to read the literature of the profession. Secondly, if you're interested in a particular segment like automotive or energy or financial services, you've got to really figure out what are the priorities and challenges in those sectors. And that forms the basis of the right questions that you can address to look at research, in that manner. So you really got to do your homework up front.
I think, clarity on what information you really need to find. I think too often you do research and then it's only afterwards you think, if only I'd asked that question or thought about this better. So really to do the thinking up front and to understand what's already out there. So a lot of research already exists in broad areas. I think often, particularly in terms of media research, the focus is too often on outputs, so how many millions of media impressions, as opposed to outcomes. Who actually read it? Did it change their opinion? Are they in a different place because of it? So I think being thoughtful about what you're really seeking to measure will help you ask the right questions.
Go deep on analytics. I think oftentimes when we think of research or PR, we sort of think of measurement or we think of survey research. I would say, given where the industry is going, given the focus on digital, think about really understanding digital and social channels, because that will serve you well from a strategy perspective, but also if you anchor yourselves in research and measurement, that's really where we start a lot of the discovery process for planning campaigns.
begin simply, but simply begin. I think there is sometimes a sense of intimidation when beginning the process of introducing research within the organization, but it doesn't have to be. There are very simple ways to begin, gain momentum, build consensus, alignment, and success.